held, and that's why you're experiencing what you're experiencing. So we, the people who are the victims, how do we hold governments responsible? Because the president had come out to say that, he talks about the issue of, the environmental degradation. He talked about the issue of climate change as some of the causes. But the thing that is at the core of it, which is the fact that the dam that we're supposed to build on our side of the divide hasn't been built. And why is that? Well, we're going to have a guest join us in a few minutes. Achike Chude is a public affairs analyst, and he is going to be discussing this issue of flooding with us for the next few minutes before we, of course, go to the news. And when we come back, the conversation will continue. It's still WhatsApp Lagos 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Check the time is 10:51. Our guest is on, and we're going to be talking to him in a few seconds. Some scary statistics we have been getting on this as Nigerians continue to lament the impact of flooding across the country. Well, figures such as 603 lives lost in this, and 2.5 million persons affected, 1.3 million displaced. It's not something we can just look over and gloss over like that. That's why we have Mr. Chude with us in the studio.
And just as he joined us, we were giving some statistics. Mr. Achike Chude is a public affairs analyst. Achike Chude, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning
it's
to
a
you.
Pleasure always.
Yes, always. There's been a back and forth between the government of Nigeria and the government of Cameroon. There's been a lot of blame games. The president yesterday was quoted to say that, climate change also is one of the reasons and the factors why we're experiencing this flooding. We had also something similar to this sometime in, I think, 2013? 2012, yes. I cannot forget it. Bayelsa was over flooded. Water took over all of the homes in Bayelsa. And now we're seeing the likes of Kogi, Anambra, Rivers, and Bayelsa again, in that mix. Now, the Pan-Niger Delta chieftain, Chief Edwin Clark, has taken a swipe at the federal government, asking them to stop blaming the Cameroonian government for being responsible for the problem. He's asking that the presidency, one way or the other, acts. I'd like to hear your thoughts quickly. Why do you think that we keep experiencing this year in and year out?
Yeah, sometimes events in this country defy all logic, really, because flooding is something that everybody knows about. The president talks about climate change. Everybody knows about climate change. That has been in the news for decades now. I mean, governments trying to do something about climate change. So they are mitigating things that need to be done at all times. And the fact that we're having this, especially against the backdrop of what happened in 2012. 2012 was also massive, but not as serious, as damaging as what we have now. So there's been a pattern. We have seen this happening over the years. And so this is no time for excuses. Excuses are not welcome under any circumstances, because we knew this was going to happen. We knew that the climate, change situation was getting worse. So why would you, allow? What are the mitigating things that we had done, put on ground? Fine, we talk about Cameroon. We've always known about the existence of Lagdo Dam, which was completed in, I think, 1982.
You can have it hot, big chocolate. You can have it cold, big chocolate. You can have it at home, at school, at work, or when you hit the road.
doesn't matter. Have a rich cup of peak chocolate anytime and enjoy the delicious nourishment of chocolaty goodness.
Big chocolate it is.
Peak. Reach for your peak.
You summon the oracle now. Greetings, my king. How can the oracle serve you? You will tell me the secret to your power. How did that keke move without a driver? My secret is the power of 5G. Tell me more about the power of 5G. With hyper-fast internet speeds, low to zero lag and buffering, multiple connections and quality data sharing, 5G will give you amazing things like remote surgeries, self-driving vehicles, instant file downloads, smart homes. 5G's amazing technology will change the way we experience life and the internet. Get ready to encounter the incredible. And remember, no be juju, now MTN 5G.
Imagine if the world revolved around you and you could do anything, like even make this ad go faster.
I'm going to buy my first car this year.
Or maybe slower.
I'm going to buy my first car.
Or even turn it to music.
I'm gonna buy my first car this year.
Or maybe just leave it as it is.
I'm going to buy my first car this year.
Yup, that feeling is second to none. And the best part is, you decide the pace. Set the pace for a great life with a reliable trading partner that makes the world revolve around you. Download the Octa FX trading app now. Octa FX, focused on your goal.
Noise in class.
Auntie, Brian said that the Bomb Vita school competition is back. We are preparing for it.
The bomb factor is back? Okay, let's see your preparation. Drop a beat.
That's right. The Bond Factor School Talent Competition is back with up to 6 million naira to be won. To participate, visit www.bondfactor.ng. Bond Vita, strength to dream.
Oh, lunch. Guys, I'm going for lunch. Please, put more stew. Nice meal. My chest.
Suffering from heartburn and indigestion? Try Just Eat. My recommendation for the past 26 years. Just Eat is a brand of aluminium and magnesium hydroxide and simethicone. Just Eat is available in suspension and tablets. Remedy for heartburn, indigestion, flatulence, and acidity.
Jested, now available in new packs. If symptoms persist after 3 days, please see your doctor. Read leaflet inside.
Sure you like to save your money.
I save my money.
It is sweet your body.
It is sweet my body.
Happy toilet cleaner. Yepa.
Only 30 naira.
Sure you like to save your money.
I save my money.
It is sweet your body.
It is sweet my body.
Happy toilet cleaner. Yepa.
Only 30 naira.
And it dey shine well well, no be wash. One tap, small brush, one flush. It be things, it go clean, it go bright. No germs for the site, it go sweet your body.
It is sweet.
Sure you like to save your money.
I save my money.
Make una rush, go buy the new Ogbonge 30 naira Happy toilet cleaner. Where dey inside sachet. Make your toilet dey 10 times cleaner. It dey clean toilet well, and the price no dey tear pocket. So no waste time. Alele, go buy your own 30 naira Happy toilet cleaner and save plenty money today.
Kids Twisco to support their big dreams.
Twisco, power your dream.
Kids Twisco to support their big dreams.
Twisco, power your dream.
99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one station.
The women, once they get married, they feel they've achieved everything they want in life.
For the first time in a long time, the youth are actually voicing and coming out to protest. It's a beautiful time. And so I think it is just a dress rehearsal for 2023.
Rule of law is supposed to apply whether you are old or young, rich or poor. If we see where rule of law is not being applied, we should call it out and say, this is wrong.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
Let's talk.
It's 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock.
The Headline News on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Headline News on 99.3 Nigeria Info today, Tuesday, October 18, 2022. President Buhari says Nigerians' electricity generation will increase to 25,000 megawatts. Sanwo-Olu says 1 million residents equipped with coding skills. Nigeria's inflation hit 20.77%. Chief Justice of Nigeria to swear in 62 new SANs in November. Immigration withdraws entire shift at Lagos Airport and orders investigation into misconduct. 31 policemen dismissed for misconduct in 18 months. Supporters of People's Democratic Party attacked in Kaduna. House of Representatives caucus urges President Buhari to declare a state of emergency in Bayelsa over flooding. Atiku condemns attack on PDP rally in Kaduna State. And still bringing you headlines, police arrest Achike, popularly known as IVD, over alleged death of Bimbo. Sit-at-home paralyzes activities in Anambra as Kanu remains in detention after court ruling. Akon laments loss of 120 billion naira annually to foreign production of adverts. And on the foreign scene, United Nations chief calls for withdrawal of Eritrean armed forces from Ethiopia. United Nations chief calls for U.S. says Iranian drones breach sanctions over Ukraine attack, and U.S. agency disburses $3 million grant to 3 Nigerian private hospitals. And finally, in sports, Benzema wins his first Ballon d'Or after stunning 44-goal season. Remember, elections have consequences, and if you've registered last year for your PVC, go to the nearest INEC office where you registered to collect your PVC. If you registered between January and July of 2022, your PVC will be ready between October and November. And those are the headlines. The full bulletin will be brought to you at the top of the hour, 12 o'clock. I am Mary Anacom, thanking you for listening.
This is your number one station.
99.3.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
More talk, more conversations, more after this.
All right, just 2 minutes past our 11, and our guest has been with us, and we have had a lovely time together. Mr. Chude, you were saying something very
quick
important.
Before we went on that break. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So can you hear me?
Yes, we
clearly.
can.
Yeah. So we're talking about the fact that part of the blame, apart from that's coming from the president, is not just it talks about climate change.
Yeah.
Which is nothing new, really. So if it is nothing new, and you know about the devastating effects of climate change, especially the perilous times that we find ourselves in, then you do whatever you can to mitigate the damage of nature. The other one is something that could have been done. That is the arrangement that Nigeria had with Cameroon. Obviously, Cameroon was building a dam, and some of these dams are not, have implications beyond the shores of the countries that are building the dams. Of course, we can see the problem between. We know about the problem between Ethiopia and Egypt over the construction of a dam.
The Renaissance
and that
Dam.
has also been, and that has led to some international crisis between both countries. So these things do happen. But we knew that we needed to do something about mitigating the damages of that will be coming from the dams. And that's why when a major programs are being undertaken, major projects are being undertaken that are supposed to have impact on the environment and the society at large, you do impact, environmental impact assessment. So that gives you an idea of the implication of that particular project and what needs to be done to mitigate whatever negative fallout that would arise as a result of the siting of the project. And so that impact assessment obviously indicated that there will be a problem, not just in Cameroon, but beyond the shores of Cameroon to Nigeria once the water in the dam is released. And we were told, or we have found out, that there's an agreement actually in place for the Nigerian government to set up, also build its own dams, to also take to mitigate the effects of the Cameroonian dam when it is released, so that we can also take some of these excess water and then cause less damage to. And obviously that was not done. And the essence, the question you ask is why was it not done? It's simple for me, because the wrong people are not in government. The right people are not in government. So you have people who are motivated by other things, people who have other different
priorities are different. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, it's as simple as that. I mean, we can't put it any other way. That is what is responsible. So these are people, as a result of whatever inclinations they might be having, are willing to jeopardize the interest of the larger society for the purpose of, whatever personal gains they might, benefit from not doing what they should do. Otherwise, there's no reason why we should subject the vast majority of Nigerians in those floodplain areas,
Mr. Chude, sorry,
to this kind of damages. Yeah.
Sorry, let me continue here. 603 people conservatively is not a small figure. Now, can anybody stand to gain anything by this act of negligence? Can anybody stand to gain? I mean, you're supposed to do something to mitigate this kind of thing. Who will gain from this kind of negligence? I mean, is there anything? Because I see it as just negligence, but the way you sound is like someone is profiting from not doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. Anybody that would profit from that kind of thing, from human misery, is a person that is less than human.
True.
And don't look, when you're talking about human beings, you see the very worst in humanity with people, and then you see also the best. So when you have people like Hitler, for instance, you have people like
Mussolini.
Mussolini, thank you very much. You also have people like Mother Teresa and Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
You have Mandela. So life is all about contrast, up and down,
spectrum.
good and evil.
Yeah.
Dark and fair, black and white. That is it. So you also have human beings that you can put in these modes. So there are people like that, and you ask yourself, because you see your question has deeper ramification. For instance, why is Nigeria the way it is today in the midst of so much human and natural and mineral resources? Why is Nigeria the way Nigeria is? It is simply as a result of this. That's why somebody has called some of the things going on in this country, as described it as organized chaos. Look, people profit from chaos, and don't also forget that wars are being fought in Nigeria today. And that people are profiting from it. Sometimes, the revelations we've had, for instance, from the Niger Delta, where, like Tom Polo says, super tankers berth in Nigerian waters. Then you have, military gunboats that are supposed to prevent, the illegal siphoning of crude oil from the country. But you see them aiding and abetting what is going on. It's organized chaos. People are benefiting from it. So there's nothing new, with what we are seeing today in the country. And it is unfortunate that this is where we have found that. So with regards to, to what happened, the flood situation, it was absolutely and totally preventable.
Yeah.
But like I said, for whatever reason, there were different priorities. There are things that were more important. That's why these things were not done. Of course, you talk about ecological funds. We also have ecological funds that have been prepared for situations such as this. What has happened? Of course, we know that years back, I think under the Obasanjo administration, there was so much scandal that had to do with the ecological fund that the federal government itself was dipping its hands into the ecological funds and using it for other things. And we all know the problem of, the ecological problems that some of the states in the country are having, Anambra State and many other parts of the country, erosion and the rest. And yet, the government felt that there were other things that were more important. So this is a country that does not prepare for the rainy day. So it's nothing new, in this country, but it is unfortunate and it is shameful that we keep on finding ourselves in this situation. But we are not only blaming the government, and we cannot also blame the government, because we've had instances even among the people themselves in Lagos State and many other parts of the country where people, and we have had this discussion, I think, on your medium, where people would also block drainages, with all kinds
refuse,
of dirt and filthy materials, refuse, and then also build on the
drainage
lands,
ways,
drainage, routes and all that. And so all of these things also contribute one way or the other in causing unfortunately, this devastation that has taken place in other parts of it, especially the eastern parts and the northern parts of the country.
Let's talk about what we need to do.
6 states.
Okay, let's talk about what we need to do in the interim, because it looks like successive governments have, somewhat decided not to look into this issue. Again, the dam, Stretch and I were having a conversation about the level of completion. If it's 90% completed, why can't
years, yeah.
And it's been 90% completed for so many years.
Yeah.
Why has it not? why would it take so long for it to be completed? Again, if this government is making so many excuses around it, shouldn't this have been one of the priorities? Being that this flooding issue never goes away and we keep losing people. Is it easier? I'm curious. Is it easier to give all of these flood relief funds and victim endowment funds, blah blah blah, as opposed to building that dam and of course giving stiffer sanctions for those who are one way or the other
nobody being called to book? Nobody is being held
so what's happening? Should we be looking at a probe for governors at the state levels and of course ministers or even presidents who have refused to do their job?
Well, there's always a truism that prevention will always be better than cure.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's better you prevent it because ultimately it takes much less to prevent a disaster. And then it takes much more to address the consequences of a disaster. And, and you cannot adequately address, the consequences of disaster because, yes, you might be able to replace infrastructure that have been damaged, but you're not going to replace the human lives that have been lost in the process. So these are the clear, differences. And obviously, again, states have also been responsible. In fact, states should be primarily responsible for what happens within their territories. And in this case, a lot of these states have also failed in sufficiently addressing, the problems that they're having. Of course, the issue of climate change is always there, but the climate change issue is not a Nigerian issue, it's a global issue. And so that is going to take resolutions at other levels with different partners, NGOs, international, organizations, the United Nations, under the aegis of the United Nations and all the other countries of the world, especially the major pollutants of the environment, of the climate, But the ones that we can do are the ones we can do and we should do. And that is obviously studying what exactly has happened and also coming up with a formula on how to address this issue so that there will not be future occurrences. And even when you have future occurrences, you want to be sure that the damages are very much mitigated. And this is, exactly what we are saying. And so it means perhaps you might also, talk about building banks across, the river, depending again on the rise of the water, how by how many inches or how, that the water has risen. These things are some of the things that can also be done. Then perhaps also, if you know that there is nothing that can be done on a year-to-year basis, then perhaps you might think of, ways to begin to move the communities that live in flood-prone areas and move them to higher grounds, move them to places where they will not be washed away when these floods come. That is one way of also trying to mitigate the crisis. And then again, you should also have, because this is something that you are expecting, you should also have camps, whether you call it camps where these people can stay, because with what has happened now, the government, the Ministry of of humanitarian disaster says, look, we provide camps for them, provide places where these people can go now, and these things are not in place. This thing is going to happen. We have seen it happen several times. Why is it that the people, when it happens, they have no place to go to? It's at the moment that these things have happened that you begin to look for ways to see how you can accommodate these people. So these are some of the issues. And of course, we can't be talking about relief. That's why I say prevention is better, because even the relief, how much of it get to the people? We know that in 2012, life experiences. Don't forget that in 2012, a lot of organizations, corporate organizations, most especially, decided to come together and pool resources together to help those people who were affected negatively by the flooding that took place, especially in places like Lagos. And what happened? There were insinuations of displacement of funds, and misappropriation and misapplication of funds. So people said, and I met quite a few,
No.
that they were giving, was it 12,000, whatever amount they were giving before, but they had to sign an undertaking that, that they were actually collected less, but also agreed to sign
that they collected
for more. That they collected much. I mean, so in a case where you give, for instance, somebody relief of about 12,000, you ask him to sign for 12,000 and you're giving him maybe 6,000 or 8,000. These are the things that happen. So people were also benefiting from that. And I spoke with a few of the people. It was right in the media, and so it's not, look, in Sierra Leone, we had the issue of the blood diamonds. People were being killed, but people were making profit from the diamonds that were being exploited from the diamond fields. So these are the things, and this is the nature, unfortunately, of human beings. But the essence, that's why you have government, because the essence of government is to ensure that the lives of the people are protected, that the welfare of the people is improved upon. And so when you have people who are deviated in conducting themselves in ways that are compatible with public decency, and the progress of society, then the government has to step in. And those people who have fallen foul of the law must be prosecuted. And that's what, that's the question you are asking. Why is it that when people have become derelict in executing their, primary responsibilities for which they are being paid salaries for and allowances, nothing happens to them ultimately at the end of the day? Is it because, and you're gone?
Yeah, I'm just saying it's quite unfortunate. Nothing happened. But then it also puts us in a precarious situation where we wonder what is the value of the life of an average Nigerian. But because we have very little time, Mr. Chude, I will let you answer that question before we wrap up. We're going to bring Lagosians into this conversation. How do we hold governments accountable? Maybe because it hasn't gotten to some of us in Lagos, it might sound a bit like a mirage, but then we can see videos, photos of people whose houses have been completely immersed in water in Kogi, in Anambra, in Delta, in Bayelsa, I beg your pardon, and River State. So join the conversation. Where do we go from here, and how do we hold our governments?
Marianne, but also don't forget the greater implications of what is happening.
Yes.
The fact that we are in a very serious economic, find ourselves in a very serious economic situation. In your news, item, you just read about inflation hitting a double digit, slightly over 20%. This is unprecedented in the history of this country. I don't think we've ever got into that level. Then you're talking about, of course, obviously the implications, the rising price of food and so many other things, foreign exchange, so many things Nigerians have to cope with. Life is exceedingly very hard. Now we're going to compound it again. And of course, part of the food security issues we have been having in this country have been as a result of the activities of bandits and terrorists, especially in the northern part of this country, that have made farming excessively, very, very difficult, if not impossible. And so we have, food shortages, the high prices of foodstuff are occasioned by this security in the land. And then you are now having over 140,000, or is it 300,000 hectares of farmland that has been destroyed, in many parts of this country at the same time.
It makes
people
the future
have predicted. It makes the future very bleak. And, because people have also predicted that even rice, a bag of rice, a staple in Nigeria, might rise as high as 80 to 100,000 naira in the country. And so if that rises, you're going to be sure that other food items, basic food items, are also going to rise in an astronomical manner.
Wow.
Now, the question you now begin to ask yourself is, where do we go to? How are people surviving? Because I've always felt that, people, it's a miracle how Nigerians have been surviving, looking at what is going on in the country today. So this flooding, unfortunately, has compounded our issues and our woes. Okay.
Well, let's bring in Lagos to this conversation. We have just 7 minutes. So, guys, go straight to the point. You have 60 seconds. We'll try to take at least 5 to 6 calls right now. 0700 993 993 993. That's 0700 993 993 993. If you're a lady, you can call 01 465 7190. That's 01 461 465, I beg your pardon, 7190. If you're a lady, you can send us a message. We're live on facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM 99.3, and of course we are live on YouTube also. Please drop a message on Twitter with the hashtag What's Up Lagos. All right. Hello, good morning. What's up, Lagos? Hello, good morning.
What's up, Lagos? Are you there? All
right, you're not ready? Please call us. When you call us, go straight to the point. Hello, good morning.
What's up, Lagos?
Sorry about that. Hello, good morning. Everybody's calling at the same time. 0700 993 993 993. 0700 993 993 993. And you can call, if you're a lady, 01 465 7190. Hello, good morning. What's up, Lagos?
Good morning, ma'am.
What's up,
Good morning,
Lagos?
sir.
Yes, welcome.
Yes, sir. My name is Kingsley.
Okay, Kingsley,
Go
go
ahead.
Calling from Jakonde.
Okay, sir.
I like our program very well.
Okay.
Like what that man is spending now is true. Because like this morning now, I called program for Sheriff. One man dropped, he tell me I should go to one place like that. Like this Jakonde now, we are struggling to live. Can media come and confirm this place, make them locate us? We are working people. So nobody will come down, now media will do it for us. We'll vote for now.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. What's up, Lagos? So sorry about it. Please call us back if you can. Hello, good morning. What's up, Lagos?
Hello, good morning. What's up, Lagos?
What's up? Good morning.
Welcome.
My name is Pastor Obiora.
Okay.
Sorry?
My name is Pastor Emeka Obiora, calling from Ikeja.
Okay, Pastor Emeka, you have...
Yeah, based on the issue on ground, I believe that Nigeria government have neglected the dams and all that over the years. So, as we're discussing this morning, please, our people should be able to hold our leaders accountable.
Mm-hmm.
They say that doing the same thing the same way, expecting a different result is madness. So it means that Nigeria will have to take the go by the horn to ensure that this dam is being completed. I don't know the level, but they have to ensure that people will stop dying. What is happening in Anambra and other places is terrible.
Okay.
Please.
All right.
God bless you, very good.
Thank you very much for calling. Thank you. We appreciate you. We'll take one more call before we wrap things up here. Hello, good morning. What's up, Lagos?
What's up, Lagos?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
This is Malik speaking.
Malik, go ahead.
Malik, go ahead, please.
Church, you asked a very sweet question. Does we benefit from anything of that? And the answer is yes. Since the executive is stealing, the lower people that are meant to share those aids will not do that and they'll take it to their house. Thank you.
Oh, man.
All right. Thank you very much, Malik, for calling. Straight to the point. Hello, good morning. What's up, Lagos?
Yeah, good morning.
What's up, Lagos? What's your name, sir?
Yeah, my name is Sunday. I'm calling from Agility.
All right, go ahead, Sunday.
Yes, I just want to propose some solutions.
Okay.
Quickly, you have 50 seconds.
Okay. Number one, we should enforce the walls of the Cameroon dam to withstand more water. If Nigeria cannot immediately complete or afford to complete its own dam, Nigeria should complete her own dam. That's the second one to reduce the effect of the flooding. The third one is that they should do dredge River Niger and Benue. They should relocate those living in the lowland level areas. Then the fifth one is that those in control or supervising the dams should be sanctioned for dereliction of duty because the dams are metered in such a way to control the volume of water
that comes,
which must be released regularly to avoid flooding.
All right.
Well, thank you very much. Very, very interesting solutions. And I think that those who are responsible, if they're listening, these are things that we must take into consideration. But this is a conversation that we continue to have. Mr. Chude, unfortunately, time is not on our side. But, the information that we've gotten has given us food for thought. And I'm thinking that we're all going to be thinking on these things. And it will inform our choices in whoever we decide to pick as leaders and make sure that they're responsible to us.
603 avoidable deaths.
Have already
These are
happened.
the ones we know. Property, land, the hunger next year.
Achike Chude, it's a pleasure to have you. Great conversation. Achike Chude is a public affairs analyst. Thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Thank you so much for being on the show, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right.
It's always a pleasure too.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Well, that's it on this side of the clock. When we come back on the other side, we'll be having guests in the studio and we're talking about Sakpa.
Yes, Sakpa. If you don't know what that is, it's not Jakpa. It's not the younger brother of Jakpa. It is what you run away. It is what makes you Jakpa.
It's a song. Hard life where we they live for Niger.
Yeah, singing it. Is what makes you want to Jakpa. Sakpa makes you Jakpa. We're
going to talk about it. And you can feel free to share your Sakpa stories with us after the break. Stay with us.
And I want to assume that you would run because I want to give the listeners context for the conversation.
In 2019, you were running mate to Achike Abubakar. What did you learn then that you will not repeat this time?
Yes, when is the president coming out to address us?
There's a few things. One, I have a burden and a passion for young people.
The fact that you have elected a man does not mean then you begin to order him around. The president will do whatever is good for the country at any given time.
Mr. Adeshino, isn't the president responsible to the people?
What should the next president do to root out stakeholders who are complicit?
You fire those that need to be fired are fired.
It's looking like a brand new Chelsea, attacking with so much fluidity. And what can you say about that, Martin? I know you follow Chelsea quite closely.
I live close to the Chelsea training ground. That's what you mean by that. I'm not